Hey everybody, welcome to The Art of Comics. It's me, Andres Salazar, comic book creator, aficionado, and nerd of these four-colored, beautiful little storytelling devices. And every now and then, we're going to have a video about something that I directly am involved in. And so today, we're going to talk about Cannibals on Mars, which is a little indie comic that I was the colorist for. I did the colors. We'll talk about that. We'll go through this book. Little history. I was at the Los Angeles Comic Con. I think it was LA Comic Con a couple years ago before COVID. I was at a table, and I actually shared a table, which I rarely do, but I got it for free, so I was like, I'll share it, with the artist, the inker penciler of this, Tony Donnelly. Me and Tony split this table. And next to him, I think, was David, who was the writer of this. Anyway, they liked Pariah, Missouri. We got it on that weekend. We had a lot of fun. And they said, hey, we should do a project together. And we got this story. Wouldn't it be nice? Blah, blah. I'm like, sure. Yeah, dude, I'll do a comic book. I'm not against that. So we stayed in touch. I mean, this is part of the reason why comic conventions are important. It's not only to sell your stuff, which you want to do, but it's to, do collaborative work and meet other people and kind of get inspired and jazzed about this freaking medium that everyone's putting so much effort into. So they approached me, showed me the script, said, hey, do the colors. I'm like, yeah, let's do this mofo. But I'm going to do it my way, which is kind of an analog watercolor. They're like, yeah, great. Well, that's what we want. I'm like, okay, let's do this. And it didn't take too long, but we got it done. And this was a Kickstarter, which some of you might have seen. And now I got my comp copies. And so I am ready to share this wonderful story and the process of coloring this with you guys. So let me turn the camera around. Let's deep dive into Cannibals on Mars. And let's take a look. Let's do it. Okay, guys, here we are. Here's the book. It is, I want to say, 36 pages or so. Are these pages numbered? Something around 36 pages. Again, this was a Kickstarter. There's some extra stuff. Here's our little favorite Kickstarter backer folks. A little bit of info on how it was done. Little extra pages here. Tony talks about, great, brilliant way of looking at visuals, how the eye moves. And then I talk a little bit about the coloring. So here's the original colors. You guys want to see what I did? So I decided, just like I did with Pariah, Missouri, I used these watercolors. These are P.H. Martin's Hydrus watercolor. I learned about these from, I think his name was Brent Anderson. He was like art director of CrossGen back in the day. He's an artist, of course. I met him at Emerald Comic Con years ago. Anyway, he had these beautiful watercolors he was working on, and he was using these super strong, vibrant colors. I'm like, you know what? These look better than my Winsor Newton watercolors I've been using. What are they? And they're like, hey, check these out. They're called Dr. P.H. Martin's Hydrus, and they are badass. And so I'll just even show you right now. I'll just pour a little bit on here. These mamas are beautiful colors. So super strong, vibrant, light and fast, great. So I went out and spent $100, bought a little set of 12 or whatever, and I've been using them ever since, and I love them. So I used watercolors for these, and as you can see, what I did was these are original pages. So I got Tony's inks digitally, right? I have them in the computer. I lower the opacity to about between 20 and 30%, so it's like kind of a gray, and then I scan them on nice watercolor paper, okay? So scan them on watercolor paper, and then, print them on watercolor paper, and I do 2 a page, so this is like, I think, standard 11 by 17, and I usually do it full-sized for 1 page, but then I thought, you know what, I kind of want to jam through this. I don't want to spend that much time. It's not like they're giving me, $500 a page, and I got other stuff to do. So why don't I do 2 pages per paper, which will make it smaller, The benefit is speed, quicker, right? Less surface area to paint. The negative is details. I can't get all the details I wanted, although I think we did pretty good here. We got what we wanted to on something like this. Now, you look at this and you might not be able to really understand it or see it because it's just a lot of mess, right? But when I'm working with it, I could kind of see what's going on, and I know what's what. But then then you scan this, okay? I scan this back into the computer, and I use an overlay. I put those blacks right onto like an acetate page. Put those blacks on top of this, and bada bing, right? So let's look at this, page. Boom, right? So then you go, wow, okay? You see that? So you have the watercolor originals that now, and then digitally, I kind of amp things up. I changed the gain a bit, right? Because I actually like this better than this. This feels a little too saturated. This could be the printer. This could be a lot of things. But there's times when you have to kind of maybe play with the levels a bit and saturation and things like that. And then there you go. So boom, boom, right? That looks the same. There you go. Here we go. And the splatter, which is all crazy, but it looks good here, right? So it works. Same thing for this side. That works. So that's what we do. So I did that, and did this guy. Let's go look at this page. Let's see this, because this hair, you don't know what the heck's going on there with her locks going down. Let's see if we can find it. Yeah, there it is. So there's this one. Okay. So it looks pretty cool. Now, going back, I'm a bit critical of my work. I actually have major issues with looking at my work at times. And there are pages here that I didn't care for. That I'm talking about my work that were okay, but I wasn't thrilled about. And we'll just go through them because you know what? What the hell? I'm critical. Hey, if I'm going to be critical of Frank Miller and Chaykin and everybody, I got to be critical of myself. That's just who I am. I didn't really care for the way I watercolored the guy in there. There wasn't enough information in the pencils. I'm not blaming the pencils, but I could have put more. I probably should have did this on a bigger slice of paper and really kind of went in there, but I just didn't. I don't know. It just didn't work for me. Her iris looks nice, and this looks good. There's times where the watercolor I think works, and there's times where I'm not sure about. I like the sky effects I did. Basically, the story is Cannibals on Mars. I mean, do we even have to explain it? It's, dead space or some of those kind of like mining type of, colonies with some cannibalism thrown in there. This was the very first page I did. And I actually like this a lot. I did digitally change some things. I went in here and I put some highlights, right? I could have did that with like some whiteout or pro white, but I just did it digitally and I kind of like popped in a couple things. You'll see like people like Jimenez will do that with his watercolors. He'll pop in some whites and stuff. So I did that a little bit. But the problem with the watercolor on something like this, I don't like the way there's certain tones on the Hydrus P.H. Martin inks that it will kind of have like a residue kind of when it dries, and I didn't like that texture on some of this, so it just feels a little too rough for me to be honest. But that's me. There's some good stuff. Starts off with a cute little sex scene to kind of just start off saying, hey, this is mature, we're not screwing around. And also the red, I was trying to do this like lighting where there's the red lights shining on her face. She's like African American or darker skinned, and I don't know, it almost looks like she's got bruises or something on his ass cheeks, stuff like this. I don't know, I would redo this. I think I would, but it works. But I don't know, I was playing a little bit too much. I might redo it. Her skin looks good, he looks okay, but I just don't know if that highlight, would have been better maybe is to do it normal analog and then digitally maybe put a little bit of like shine on there, a little airbrush. That might have worked better, and I think I wound up doing that later on. There's some bits here. Yeah, he's really in there. Yeah, it gets gruesome. It gets like bada bing. There's some pages though. Yeah, this stuff's okay. I like the skies. I think the sky stuff looks cool, and the mountains. I would redo this blood now. Now that I would redo this a little bit probably too. And the gradients, he put some gradient stuff. I kind of played with that, coloring that a little bit, but it was a little hard because it was all flattened. It didn't. No, I take that back. There were separate layers for it, but I think at the time I just wasn't able to figure it out. Now I could do it better. You learn a lot through a project, right? I mean, I think the later pages in this, even something small as 36 pages, are better. I really like this kind of stuff. This like the dirt, the different multiple layers of transparent colors kind of building upon each other. Again, trying to use lighting and stuff. I actually do like the texture on the background on this. I actually do like that. Although it bleeds a little bit on the face, which might be a little messy, but I still like it. I might actually even change her hair. I might even like do a color hold on her black hair to just make it a little brown instead of so black. Yeah, this page I didn't really care for. I was kind of going for these like color themes where there's certain rooms have different colors. This is clearly like green, but I don't know. And then I even got my airbrush, my analog real airbrush, and you can see spots where I actually just said, screw this mofo, and I just airbrushed using the same ink, using the watercolor ink. So you don't need, and I just airbrushed to get really some strong colors. And actually that does look kind of cool. That is kind of fun, the airbrushing. This is fun. I probably would put more highlights now. I'll put more little white spots on some of the gear, the clothing. I like this. So this is a digital trick. I put a layer of like a purple, just like a screen in Photoshop, or I'm using Manga Studio. So I put a little screen to show like outdoors. So that anytime they're outside, there's this like kind of purple screen on it. And then once it see they're outside, and then once they go inside, boom, now we're black. So I kind of like that. The intensity of these it's very saturated, and I did fiddle with changing the saturation, but then it became really muted, and then it started to become a little muddy, or it felt too modern, like the way modern watercolors do, where it's all very much like in those kind of brown neutral palettes. And so I thought, no, screw it, let's just go high saturation. I still think I could have probably dialed it down a bit. So here's again see that watercolor kind of look. Sometimes I don't know, maybe that does work okay. I don't know. I like that. I like that. I guess I like it when it looks more where it's cleaner, and this looks a little bit more too much like a lava lamp in the background on some kind of Doors, video or something. Doors, the band, by the way. So yeah, so this is the red room, and now of course is the yellow office. It was just to kind of help, I think. I just thought it might be nice to help people know where the hell they are in different places, because they're going to these different stations. There's just different kind of factions, and that was important. I felt. Yeah, I'm not too happy about some of the way I colored the skin on some of the. Again, see, I didn't care for this. I even doubled down with a little bit of airbrush on there. It's okay, but I just felt like the the skin doesn't really. It's not like a piece of paper where light bounces on and does that. So that was maybe not the best choice, but yeah. Then we get a little bit of gruesomeness, and we get some fighting. This is a fun story. I totally would do this more. I would do more. I enjoyed it. It's definitely a cliffhanger, and so there you go. If you want to buy this, let me know, dude. Go to my Patreon, sign up there. You can buy it there. Email me directly. I've got some copies here, so I'll throw it down and I'll sell some of these mugs. But there you go. This is Cannibals on Mars, my little walkthrough of the process, and I hope you enjoyed it. Check out all my other videos. I do them twice a week. What's the next videos? We've got one on inks. I got all these different inks I bought. We've got some others in the works. So thanks for watching, guys. Have a great one, and talk to you later. Bye.